We're joined by Robbie Gatti. He is a candidate for state representative in primarily from the Bossier area.
I have here, good Lord, man, the New York Daily News. A Louisiana politician who wore blackface to dress up as Tiger Woods said he was having a good night at church. Robbie Gatti, in a March special election for a state legislature seat, etc., unearthed a photo from, quote, a few years ago.
How old is it, Robbie?
15 plus.
The Republican confirmed the authenticity of the picture on Monday, but did not apologize. So,
Good morning.
what's the deal?
Nice hot seat, huh?
It's a great day today. Can't get any better than yesterday. Hey, thank y'all for letting me be here this morning.
You know the picture's gone viral. Everybody's talking about it. You issued a statement. You regret it?
Oh,
Regret the
absolutely,
blackface?
absolutely. You know, 15 years ago, that was it's kind of ironic. That's the first church event I ever served at that church. I was in charge of actually spin art that night, and I dressed as Tiger Woods. You know, if I could take that back, I did not even understand the history of blackface till I started reading this. And you know, as a minister, I've knocked on thousands of doors. My phone tells me I've walked 168 miles in this campaign.
Matt tells us you've been to his house.
Yeah, I have. Oh, good, Matt. Nice to meet you.
Lives in Benton.
Again, yeah.
So I've knocked on 168 miles, and through this, one of the things that is that comes to mind is if I would have ever done anything to offend someone, you know, we wouldn't want that to take seed, because my ministry is more important than this. And so, you know, I want to formally apologize to anyone I may have upset. I mean, I'm willing to meet with those people personally, because this is sensitive, and it goes beyond the campaign, beyond the legislative office. I mean, this offense could inhibit someone's ability to follow Jesus Christ, and that's as a minister, it just doesn't get any more serious than that.
How old were you when you did this?
Well, 15 years ago, so you're gonna make me tell my age. I would have had to been in my early 30s, you know. So we're thinking 35ish, maybe even 30, maybe even 33.
And didn't realize that it was offensive.
No,
at the
I
time.
did not realize, but now I do. So ignorance is not an excuse, and I've said that in the military. So I have to wear that vest now. Is that when you do something offensive, you have to take full responsibility of it, and I do, I do.
For those who would call Robbie Gatti, after seeing this picture, they have not met you, but they would say this just, without even seeing him, speaking to him, he's got to be a racist.
Yeah, you know, politics is very, very dirty. And this is an example of that, because this is almost indefendable. I mean, in order to do this, you have to keep talking about it. You have to keep talking about it, which in itself is more divisive. I mean, you're talking about a guy who has spoke out against racism. He spoke out. I don't even believe there's biblically that there is such thing as a race. I believe we all have one blood. I've spent my whole life. I grew up in a poor neighborhood of Bossier, and so you're talking about someone that has when I say never been racist, I mean never.
When you were thinking about making the run for the legislative seat, and you get together, and at some point you sit down with the family and friends and political professionals, and at some point the political professionals look at Robbie and say, "Anything you want to tell us?
Yeah, you know, the first
anything you want to come clean about? Anything in your past?"
Yeah.
And you said,
So you have your initial colonoscopy to determine if there's anything there. And most of the time it's done without anesthesia. And I say that, and this is not a laughing matter, because you analyze yourself, you do an inventory to see what you've done in your life. And you think God has prepared you for this. And through my medical and my ministry and my military experience, I was a good candidate. You know, I was a good candidate to run for this. The timing was good. I'd retired. So this picture that was produced by opponents was never on our radar. We never thought that this picture would start. We didn't.
Who took the picture?
Well, that's a question, you know, and I don't want to go down that road too much, but you know, this was before phones had
we
cameras.
Want to go down that road.
Yeah.
This was.
Pardon me.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's not like you're
Absolutely.
bound and gagged smiling.
Okay, absolutely. So 15 years ago, there was no such thing as cameras on your phone. So this was a digital camera picture. It was done at a church event, and there were church members there, and many people got pictures made with me. I do not have this picture. I've looked through all of my stuff. It was never shared with me.
When did it pop into your head at some point that, or did it, prior to the public, the photo going public? When did it occur to you, or did it? This is out there. This could bite me on the ass.
I woke up yesterday morning and I was hit with this, and I did not know this photo existed. I remember dressing like Tiger Woods, but there was no. I don't have a copy of this photo. I'd love to see who was in the side. I have a feeling it's probably an African American person. I think that's why the cropping is so tight. But there's no excuse. There's still no excuse. But politics is a big boy sport.
Does this hurt your campaign?
You know, I think it's going to hurt us some. I do not think it's going to. I mean, they've got us so far ahead right now, and with the walking, the 168 miles, knocking on. I mean, I'm personally going to try to knock on 5,500 doors. I really think we can overcome this, but this is definitely this was not meant to help me.
Now, when you knock on a door, are you going to carry a copy of that photo
Absolutely not.
and say, I'm Robbie Gatti, I'm this guy, let me
No.
explain?
No.
Or if they don't know, are you going to say, listen, you may have read about me, but I want to tell you about this? Do you feel a compulsion? Do you feel compelled to bring it up first?
Absolutely. You know, as a minister, you always want to, you don't want to be a stumbling block to someone. So you always want to figure out a way to overcome any objection that they may have. And but also, like I knocked on about 40 or 50 doors yesterday afternoon, and I did not get this question.
So let's play the game.
All right,
Knock
ready?
on my door.
Okay.
Hey, you're
Well, I already know your name because when I knock on doors, I already know exactly who I'm going to be at. So I'll
you're
study
that guy. Your brother is the senator and Gatti, Robbie Gatti, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
what can I do for you today?
Well, what I need from you, sir, is your support and your vote. And I'd like for you to consider me. I always hand a push card. I say, listen, I've served in the military, I've been in the ministry, and I've also served as a physical therapist.
You know, God, I remember reading something about you a couple of days ago, and for the life of me, I can't remember. Wait a second. You're the blackface guy.
Yeah.
What the heck, man? At what point did that seem like a good idea?
It was not a good idea. But 15 years ago, when I went as Tiger Woods, he was the most $80 million golfer. He was the most famous golfer to go as. That night, I had many pictures made. Does not excuse and sir, since I can see you're black, I don't want you to be offended by what I did.
Well, if it makes
Okay, let's
any difference to you, he messed his life up a lot worse.
Oh, I know.
Let's
I
go
know.
here, and I don't know if you want to go here or not.
I'm ready.
Who's putting the picture out there? Who can you trace it to?
Well, as you know, as a strategist and a military officer, I was a military intelligence officer for a long time in Korea. And I'll tell you that the only person to gain from this would be a couple of people. It would be my opponents. I would never have brought something like this up. I mean, this inhibits people's ability for their life to intersect with Jesus Christ. I know I keep going back to that, but the root of this is it is a stumbling block. So it had to have been an opponent. That's the only people that can gain. You know, when you're this far ahead, you expect it. I absolutely expected attacks, but I expected them of a little bit different nature.
Will Robbie Gatti point out things that are critical of your opponents?
Absolutely not. You know, when you're in my position, the polls tell me over and over again that there is no victory in picking on the marginalized, the lower in there, and I will not do it. They have plenty to defend on their own without me causing
From
more stuff.
reading what I've read about this so far, we got to wrap up here in a second. Thank you for joining us. What I've read is that you, Robbie Gatti, you don't think this is a race killer. I mean, race in the political sense.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's going to be something we have to overcome. We have to work hard. I mean, this was a kidney shot. You know, and with the national stuff going on, it's gonna bring another negative light into Louisiana politics. So, I want to just say, make sure everyone knows that I am very sorry for doing this. You know, I asked for their forgiveness, and listen, I'm telling you, I'd like to personally meet with these people that I've offended, and if I don't know how they can reach out to me, but I'd love for that to happen. So.
Robbie Gatti, candidate for state representative. Thank you for coming in and answering
Thank
the hard
you.
questions.
Thank
Standing
you.
up, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank